Alright, you lot. Gather round, because we've got a steaming pile of gaming controversy to dive into today. Anti-cheat software, console limitations, and glorious world of keyboard warriors. Oh, it's gonna be a riot. You ever wonder why Ricochet Anti-Cheat don't work on consoles? Is it some technical mumbo-jumbo? Or did devs just decide, yeah, not worth it? Well, buckle up, because we're about to blow the lid off this one. But before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe, and all that bollocks. No channel grow? No, don't love a bit of growth, eh? Now, let's crack on. Right then, let's dive into meter it. Why don't Ricochet Anti-Cheat work on console? Let me spell it out for you. Consoles are basically like your paranoid mate who won't leave house without 5 locks on door, a bat in hand, and ring camera recording 24/7. These systems are closed off tighter than a nun's diary. Their operating systems are built to be rock solid, limiting external software like kernel level drivers, which Ricochet relies on to sniff out cheaters. Now, before you get your knickers in a twist, this isn't just laziness from devs. I know, it's bloody architectural. Console security protocols are designed to prevent any old Tom, Dick and Harry from installing dodgy software. It's like trying to install a flamethrower on a kid's tricycle. Not impossible, but Trike's going to have a meltdown trying to keep up. And sure, these restrictions keep consoles more secure than a Swiss bank, but they also make it a pain in the ass for devs to implement advanced anti-cheat tools like Ricochet. So no, it's not some grand conspiracy or oversight, just devs trying to navigate a digital fortress with a plastic spoon. But here's kicker. As crossplay becomes more of a thing, consoles are being dragged into PC Wild West, where hackers are as common as unskippable ads. And that, my friend, is where the need for better anti-cheat on consoles is becoming harder to ignore. But what's actually being done about it? Spoiler alert, not bloody much. And that's the problem. Sure, we've got devs like Riot Games over here flexing the muscles, adapting Vanguard to work on consoles for Valorant, but it's like watching someone try to fit a square peg in a round hole. Vanguard's kernel level methods need a major overhaul to even whisper at a console. Meanwhile, Ricochet is still struggling to get invited to console party. Now don't get me wrong, game devs aren't sitting on their hands doing sod all. They're tweaking, testing, and trying to implement what they can. For example, detecting dodgy input devices like Cronus and XIM, cheaters' favourite toys to spoof mouse and keyboard on consoles, is getting better. But here's rub. Console security ain't designed to deal with these kind of hacks. They're too busy guarding front door to notice some dodgy bastard slipping through window with a controller that's practically running its own cheat script. What's Sony and Microsoft doing, yeah? Sweet bugger all, that's what. Oh, sure, they'll make some noise about protecting their ecosystem, but when it comes to anti-cheat tools like Ricochet, they might as well be shrugging and saying, not my circus, not my monkeys. Responsibility falls on game developers to implement solutions. And guess what? These solutions only go so far. Crossplay, though, that's big catalyst here. Pair a console player with a PC cheater, and it's like tossing a lamb to lion's den. That's why demand for comprehensive anti-cheat systems has skyrocketed. But until consoles open up a bit, or devs invent some anti-cheat magic that works within current limitations, console players are stuck in this purgatory. Speaking of Cronus and XIM, unholy duo of console cheating, you've never heard of these little gremlins, count yourself lucky. But for the rest of us, these devices are like that one smug kid in school who knew all test answers and never got caught. Except now they've grown up and moved into the gaming world, ruining matches left, right and centre. Let's start with Cronus. This delightful gadget plugs into your console and lets players run scripts that handle everything from perfect recoil to straight up aim assist that rivals an aimbot. You've got players out there strafing like pros, landing perfect headshots and swearing it's all natural talent. Yeah, and I'm bloody Pope. Cronus is ultimate cheat stick, and worst part, it's sneaky. It don't install any software or mess with console's firmware, it just hijacks controller's input. Then there's XIM, Cronus' equal shady twin. XIM allows players to use mouse and keyboard on console, but it emulates controller inputs, making it undetectable by most anti-cheat systems. You've got console players running around with precision a PC gamer, sniping heads like it's bloody child's play, while poor sods using actual controllers are left wondering how they got outgunned in every firefight. These devices turn console gaming into a farce. The reason why people laugh when someone says, you can't cheat on consoles, Oh, you sweet summer child. Let me introduce you to Dark Underworld or input spoofing. What's worse, devs know these devices exist, but detecting them is like trying to find a needle in a haystack while blindfolded. You see, Cronus and XIM don't modify the game itself, so traditional anti-cheat software can't pick them up. And since Sony and Microsoft haven't stepped up into outlawing these devices, they continue to thrive like cockroaches in a dingy flat. It's a perfect storm. Console players pretending they're clean, cheaters pretending they're legit, game devs pulling their hair out trying to keep things fair. Let's talk crossplay. That beautiful idea of uniting players across platforms, breaking down digital walls between PC, Xbox and PlayStation. Sounds lovely, doesn't it? Everyone holding hands, singing Kumbaya and playing nice together in vast multiplayer playground. But let's be honest, crossplay is about as harmonious as a drunken pub brawl. It's deal. On paper, crossplay is brilliant. You can play with your mates no matter what console or souped-up gaming PC they're on. It levels social playing field, bringing everyone together for some good old-fashioned digital warfare. But in practice, it's a bloody disaster, especially for console players. See, when you open gates at PC World, you're inviting a flood of cheaters, hackers and sweaty tryhards armed with aimbots, wall hacks and God knows what else. Console players, bless their naive little hearts, are just not ready for that kind of savagery. They step into a cross-player lobby thinking they got a chance and then bam, headshotted by some twat with a £5 wall hack they downloaded from a dodgy forum. Let's not forget input disparity either. PC players with the mice and keyboards are out here snapping to targets like bloody Terminator, while console players are struggling to aim with thumbsticks and dodging bullets like stormtroopers on sedatives. And don't even get me started on Cronus and XIM users who bring the cheating ways into cross-player lobbies, blurring lines between PC hackers and console frauds. Real kicker? Console players often don't have a choice. Some games force crossplay, meaning you're thrown to wolves whether you like it or not. And arguing that crossplay is optional is bollocks when disabling it leads to longer queue times, fewer matches, and generally shitter experience. It's like being asked if you prefer death by firing squad or drowning. There's no good option here. And devs? Oh, they're loving it. More players, bigger matchmaking pools, and illusion of a thriving community. Meanwhile, console players are stuck in a game of survival, trying to dodge PC cheaters, input spoofers, and their own existential despair. So let's talk about solution, or at least what passes for them in this clusterfucker of gaming landscape. Fixing crossplay? Easier said than done. But let's entertain ideas, shall we? Because clearly sitting around waiting for cheaters to grow conscience isn't gonna cut it. First up, obvious. Separate lobbies for console and PC players. It's not rocket science, but apparently it's too much effort for some developers. If you're gonna shove us all in the same matchmaking pool, at least give console players option to stay in their own little bubble, away from PC sweatlords running scripts like it's bloody Matrix. Some games already do this, but others? Nah, they'd rather watch world burn. Next, we got better input detection. Game devs, I know you're busy counting your microtransaction cash, but maybe, just maybe, put some of that money towards detecting input spoofers. If the console suddenly thinks a controller is performing mouse-like precision, you'd think a red flag would go up somewhere. But no, Cronus and XIM users are still out there thriving like rats in grain silo. And how about some real punishment for cheaters? Right now, getting banned in a game like Warzone is like being grounded but still having your phone. These idiots just create a new account and jump right back in. How about some actual hardware bans? If your system gets flagged for cheating, boom, no more online play for you. Sure, it's harsh, but if you're gonna act like a twat, you deserve it. Oh, and let's not forget elephant in room. Cross-play communication needs a serious overhaul. Console players and PC players experience games differently, and yet we're all lumped into the same chat channels like one big dysfunctional family. It's like throwing a family reunion where half the relatives are drunk and other half don't speak the same language. How about separate voice channels or text filters that at least acknowledge divide? Finally, we need an anti-cheat systems that work across platform. Yeah, it's a tall order, but if Riot Games can figure out how to adapt Vanguard for consoles, then so can rest of you. Developers need to stop relying on outdated methods and start building anti-cheat from ground up with crossplay in mind. I'm talking kernel-level drivers, machine learning, hell, maybe even some AI to sniff out those little shit ruining fun. Will any of this actually happen? Probably not. But hey, a gamer can dream, right? Let's talk about Fallout, shall we? Because cheaters and this Frankenstein's monster we call crossplay aren't just messing up matches, they're poisoning entire bloody well. Gaming communities, once sacred ground of camaraderie, friendly banter, and a few light insults, are now more divided than a family Christmas after someone brings up politics. First, let's address trust issue. Back in the day when somebody pulled off a jaw-dropping headshot, you'd think, damn, what skill. Nah, immediate reaction is, cheater! It's a shame, but cheaters have turned us all into sceptical arseholes, doubting every impressive play like it's a magic trick performed by a bloke with suspiciously long sleeves. This breeds naught but paranoia and resentment within gaming communities. And let's not forget crossplay resentment. Console players hate PC players for bringing cheaters into ecosystem. PC players mock console players for needing aim assist. It's a toxic back and forth that turns game lobbies into verbal war zone. It's like watching two drunk uncles argue at a barbecue. Amusing for a minute, but then you realise it's just sad. Then there's elitism. Oh, elitism. PC players strut around with their ultra-high frame rates and custom rigs, looking down on console players like the peasants who still use dial-up internet. Meanwhile, console players hold the cheat-free reputation like a badge of honour, blissfully ignoring Cronus Max in corner. Both sides have their heads so far up their asses they can't see bigger picture. We're all getting shafted by cheaters. Even game developers aren't safe from fallout. Forums and Twitter feeds are littered with complaints, angry rants, and death threats aimed at devs who, let's face it, are probably just as sick at cheaters as we are. But instead of solving problem, they issue half-hearted patches and vague promises, while reminding us to buy the latest skin pack for 15 quid. And real tragedy? Honest players at once suffering most. People who just want to kick back after work and enjoy a few matches with mates now find themselves rage quitting because some tosser with a hacked account has ruined yet another game. Communities fracture, casual players gear up, and what's left is a toxic wasteland of sweaty tryhards, cheaters, and people who treat voice chat like it's their own personal stand-up comedy gig. Let's not sugarcoat it. Game developers are in dogouts. Players are pissed off, communities are crumbling, and every patch note feels like a slapdash band-aid over a bullet wound. So how do devs dig themselves out of this flaming dumpster fire? Simple. They need to stop talking bollocks and start delivering real solutions. First off, transparency. No more vague promises or cryptic tweets about upcoming fixes. The game's anti-cheat system is as effective as a chocolate teapot. Bloody well say so. Own up to issue. Outline what's been done to address them. And for the love of all things sacred, communicate regularly. Gamers may be salty a lot, but they appreciate honesty. Well, some of them do. Next, let's talk about putting money where it matters. Instead of dumping millions into overpriced skins and season pass content, maybe, just maybe, invest in better anti-cheat technology. Potential's there, but devs need to stop treating anti-cheat like an afterthought. We're not asking for Sistine Chapel or anti-cheat systems, just something that don't get bamboozled by a Cronus or some dodgy third-party script. And then there's elephant in room, player ban. Devs need to get aggressive. Hardware bans, IP bans, whatever it takes. Stop slapping cheaters on wrist and start kicking them where it hurts. Sure, some might argue that cheaters will find a way back, but if you make it an uphill battle, a good chunk of them will sod off and ruin someone else's game. Oh, and how about incentivising clean gameplay? Reward players who play fair, exclusive skins, bonus XP, or even something as simple as recognition. Imagine logging in and seeing a banner that says, "Thanks for not being a cheating wanker." Small things like that can go a long way in building goodwill. Devs also need to step up when it comes to crossplay option. Give players more control over how they engage with system. Don't want to play with PC cheaters? Fine, let them toggle it off. Worried about input spoofers? Add settings that detect and restrict sneaky bastards. Stop forcing crossplay down players' throats like it's bloody cure for cancer. Lastly, devs need to engage with community beyond generic "we hear ya" nonsense. Hire more community managers, host AMA sessions, and actually listen to player feedback instead of burying under PR fluff. Players want to feel heard, not patronised. Will devs actually do this? Probably not. But hey, if they want to rebuild broken trust of the communities, this would be a damn good start. Now let's zoom out for a second. We've talked about cheaters, dodgy anti-cheat systems, and misery at crossplay. But here's kicker. This whole mess is reshaping gaming industry in ways that make you wonder if we've reached point of no return. First off, cheating's driving a wedge between casual and hardcore gamers. Back in day, gaming were fun, blowing up your mates on split-screen GoldenEye, trash talking in an Halo lobby, or just trying to survive a Dark Souls boss without hurling your controller across room. But now, it's a battlefield of sweaty tryhards, cheaters with egos the size of planets, and casual players who are either gearing up or retreating to private matches where they can play without fear of being outgunned by some knob with a Cronus Max. It's not just players. Developers are feeling heat too. Pressure to keep up with cheaters has forced them to prioritise anti-cheat systems over actual game development. Instead of focusing on new maps, innovating mechanics, or, heaven forbid, fixing bloody bugs, they're stuck playing a never-ending game of whack-a-mole with hackers. It's killing creativity and slowing down progress in an industry that should be thriving. Meanwhile, rise of cheating has reshaped how multiplayer games are monetized. Think about it. Free-to-play games rake in cash through microtransactions and battle passes. But to keep those whales spending, devs need to keep cheaters at bay. So what do? They pump resources into anti-cheat measures, not cause they care about fairness, but cause they need to protect the bottom line. It's less about creating a level playing field and more about ensuring that paying players don't jump ship. Then there's ripple effect on esports. Competitive gaming's supposed to be pinnacle of skill, with best at best duke it out for glory and cash. But even esports is tainted by cheaters, with pros getting exposed for using hacks mid-tournament. Every scandal chips away at legitimacy at scene, making people question if esports will ever be taken seriously as a traditional sport. And real tragedy? Cheating's forcing games to become more restrictive. Look at Valorant with its kernel-level anti-cheat Vanguard. It's invasive as hell, and it's setting a precedent for other games to follow. Pretty soon we'll all be installing software that digs deeper into our systems than MI5, just so we can play a few rounds of Call of Duty without running into some aimbotting twat. Future of multiplayer gaming? It's looking more like a dystopian nightmare, with tighter controls, more invasive systems, and communities that are more fractured than ever. Cheating has turned what were once a simple, joyous pastime into a bloody arms race, and there's no clear winner in sight. But let's be real, none of this gets better unless we, players, start making some bloody noise. Call out cheaters, demand better anti-cheat from devs, and for crying out loud, stop bloody enabling problem by buying those godforsaken Cronus devices or playing nice with your mates who cheat. But hey, let's end this on a high note, yeah? Gaming's not all doom and gloom. There are still epic moments to be had, from clutch wins to late night banter with your squad. That's what we're fighting to protect, a gaming experience that's fair, fun, and free from tossers who ruin it for everyone else. Speaking of epic moments, don't forget to hit that like button, smash subscribe to join community. Got thoughts, rants or questions? Drop them in comments. Might just feature them in a future video. Oh, and if you want even more madness, consider joining the channel as a member. You'll get perks, shout out, and access to exclusive content. Also, don't be a stranger. Join Discord, follow me on Twitter, and let's keep conversation going. Links to all good stuff are in the description below, and I'll see you next time, you magnificent.